Hello, and welcome back to Ministry of Flavour. Today we're going to be looking at a bake that every mother-in-law has a secret recipe for, Madeira cake. This recipe is perfect for both honing your baking technique and testing out that new oven thermometer you recently acquired. To start with, you're going to need a bowl to which you add your softened butter. Fortunately for the video, it was after I'd added the butter to said bowl that I remembered I was filming a video and managed to both turn the camera on and press record. Next, you're going to add your sugar, grab your much maligned hand mixer and attempt to beat or cream the two together. What you can see here is another example of I go through the heartache so you don't have to. This is why I use softened butter. Too cold like you see here and it won't cream together into the smooth, light and creamy texture you're after. It's time to sigh and reflect on the art of patience whilst you put your butter aside and wait for it to come to room temperature. Eventually, you should have a smooth, light and creamy mixture like you see here. Next, it's time to grab your microplane, grab a lemon and zest its zest into the mixture. I'm also adding a teaspoon of vanilla extract here to balance out the flavour. Make sure everything's incorporated well before we move on to the flour and egg stage. Here, I'm using two different kinds of flour, all the details of which can be found over on the website as usual. Add 3 large eggs, one at a time, along with 1 tablespoon of flour for each egg. Ramekins aren't compulsory here unless you're self-conscious about getting bits of eggshell into your mixture whilst you're filming like I am. Whisk each egg and a tablespoon of flour into the mixture to combine. If you're wondering why I'm waving a spatula around in front of the camera, here's an example of when they really do come in handy for scraping down the sides of the bowl. Once all your eggs are mixed in, you can gently incorporate the rest of the flour into the mix. Last but not least, grab the lemon that you zested earlier and add its juice to the mixture. Be careful to avoid any pips or just find yourself a miraculously pip-free lemon like I did here. Once you've added your lemon juice, mix everything together and your cake batter is ready. Now it's on to final assembly. Here I'm using a 2-pound loaf tin which I've buttered and precision lined with parchment paper. Add your mixture and try to level it out as best as you can until you scrape the last bit off your spatula which dings up your smoothed appearance. Sigh, accept that imperfections are the nature of life and move on. Sprinkle with 1 or 2 spoons of caster sugar and it's ready for the oven. Now it's on to the whole reason I actually wanted to make this cake, trying out the new oven thermometer. This dial on the oven might be good for reading something, maybe your future, learning to tell the time, but it certainly isn't good at reading accurate temperature. Do yourself and your baking a favour and invest in one of these. Your cakes and bakes will thank you inordinately and indefinitely. For this recipe, you want the oven at either 170 degrees without fan or 150 with fan. Slide the cake into the centre of the preheated oven, say a quick mental prayer to the baking gods and leave it in there for an hour. Through the magic of time, 1 hour later, you should have a cake which is possessed of a golden brown top, a single long crack down the centre and leaves a cake tester clean when you stick it into it. Take your cake out of the oven and line it up for that gratuitous close-up shot on your patriotic tea towel of choice before allowing it to cool in the tin. Once cool, it's time to move over to the kitchen table for the all-important slice shot. Once I'd found the right angle for the camera, I was ready to slice into it and give it a try. Look at that dense, buttery, golden texture. Although traditionally served with Madeira wine, hence the name, I'm much more a fan of some Yorkshire tea with mine. And there you have it. Proof that basic doesn't necessarily mean boring, and accurate oven temperature really does pay dividends. See you next time.